Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings, to the We Are Change news show, or pretty much just documenting how the world has gone batshit crazy. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about, how smiling is sexist, the FBI investigation, the inevitable conflict with China, and how Amazon is scamming people in their pee bottles. Yes, I actually said that. And before we start, a short thank you to everyone who donates on wearechange.org/donate, voting with your dollar, allowing independent media to survive. And obviously, the major story that everyone is talking about today is, of course, the latest FBI report that found no proof of sexual misconduct against Brett Kavanaugh, Donald Trump's pick for the Supreme Court Justice. And of course, with this news, it's pretty much clear that Brett Kavanaugh will be appointed to the Supreme Court of the United States. And of course, many right-wingers celebrated, and many left-wingers were really pissed. And to be fair to their side, one of the major complaints is that there's only one copy of this FBI report, which senators have to line up to actually read and see. And allegedly, according to the Huffington Post, a former roommate of Brett Kavanaugh is coming out saying that the FBI never returned his phone call. And even before that news hit, the people of the United States, especially people protesting Kavanaugh, hit the streets of Washington, D.C., of course, to raise their concerns and have a civil discourse like we're seeing here. Well, no, actually, people just screamed at each other incoherently, had some interesting cardboard placard duels. These two are arguing like an old married couple. And they definitely do look like they belong to each other. They can't even leave each other's side. Sorry, that's beyond the point. There also was some interesting visual political theater. Of course, a bunch of celebrities came out to take advantage of this situation, like Whoopi Goldberg, whoever this is, and whatever this thing is, to grandstand in this moment. Now, surrounding this entire controversy, there does need to be some points made. First of all, I haven't seen any convincing evidence against Kavanaugh, especially with all the allegations against him. At the same time, he is not a good pick for the Supreme Court Justice since he is Dick Cheney light. And the third point I wanted to make about this entire situation, why the hell would people believe the FBI that has been acting above the law and has been extremely political, especially in their early onset with J. Edgar Hoover using that whole institution for political power? And with these ideological contradictions finding themselves mostly on the left, I would say, in my own personal opinion, that there needs to be more scrutiny against federal organizations and a lot less faith. And if people are putting their full faith into the FBI, they should really do a lot more reading into that very organization. Okay, now moving forward in our next connected segment called How Do People Actually Believe These Things? We have a video released today by the BBC of Scotland from one of their shows, BBC The Social, that, no joking here, talked about the horrifying ordeal that a person had to go through because another person wrote "you should smile" on a piece of paper and randomly handed it to her and walked away on a train.
I feel like on some level he did know what he was doing was a bit strange because he wrote, "Can you wait 10 seconds before opening?" So it was like he didn't actually want to be around to see what my reaction was to his notes.
They're making this out to some kind of grand conspiracy, but it's a random act of kindness. It's supposed to be random. The guy walked away so you could receive his message, which, by the way, said, even if the world's getting you down, you should smile. And he left to make it a genuine moment so that you didn't think that he wanted something from you. That's why he said count to 10. And now here comes the reaction from this unsocially congruent human being saying that this made her feel uneasy. And now, with the BBC, a publicly funded show, they want to send you the message that you better not frickin' do this again. Don't you dare tell me what to do with my face.
And handing me a note telling me what I should do with my face and then running off the train before I could even respond. When you look at this incident in isolation, you might think I'm overreacting a little bit.
No, really? Pretty much saying, don't do it again because it's sexist. I honestly thought this was a joke at first. I thought this was satire. I thought this was not for real. But it actually is. And don't get me wrong here. The topic of gender does include some topics that do deserve conversation and a larger look at our society. Whether it's catcalling or objectifying women, those are topics that should be discussed and should be dealt with as a society. But this issue? Hell no! Again, if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below, and I always answer comments within the first hour that the videos are out, so don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification button to be a part of the conversation. Again, smiling, even if you are not genuinely happy, triggers chemicals and neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine, in your brain that actually promotes happiness and your mood and the people around you. Smiling is not sexist. This person looked like she would be annoyed by anything, which is why she was not happy, and the guy was right for running away from there. Now, moving forward with just more utter nonsense consuming the mainstream, we have New York Times Magazine asking this very important question: is it okay to press your spouse to have a vasectomy? That's pretty much where they and make sure the dude's tubes are tied so he can't make other women pregnant. Quote, before you ditch him. Yeah, that is the New York Times. Now vasectomies could be reversed, but it's a timely, costly, dangerous matter also to deal with. But if you're planning to ditch somebody, why don't you just ditch them? Wait, why am I even entertaining this question? It's a ridiculous question, and I do have to say, what kind of wonderful world do we live in where the majority of the planet, especially if you travel, I mean, I've been to Venezuela, Somalia, the Philippines, I have seen people living under horrendous, horrible conditions, facing poverty, facing war, all these things. How wonderful do you have to have it if you get to entertain these questions and a question about someone telling you to be happy on a freaking piece of paper? So yeah, thank you, New York Times Magazine, for your intellectual prowess on this very important issue that you're making. Okay. Moving forward in actual news, now if you remember just a few days ago, Amazon announced that they are raising their minimum wage to $15 for every worker, which of course was met with cheer and the lifting of their pee jugs, since Amazon workers barely get bathroom breaks and literally have to pee all over the factory in jars. Literally, Amazon workers' bathroom breaks are timed or are very limited to the point where they have to have jugs around so they could piss in them. But just a few days ago, they were very excited, all celebrating with cheers to cheers by the mainstream media, and of course also Bernie Sanders, who celebrated this news and publicly decided and praised Jeff Bezos and his mega monolith corporation for this move. And I'm sitting here like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And as it comes out, the minimum wage hike by Jeff Bezos mainly benefits Jeff Bezos. He is, of course, the CEO of Amazon. That, with this hike of the minimum wage to $15, actually at the same time cut employee benefits, with some employees now even earning less than they did before. And he also cut monthly incentives and stock awards, while at the same time pushing forward a plan with robotic automation that will soon eliminate many of the low-skilled jobs at Amazon, which he won't have to pay because he'll just replace them with robots. All of this, of course, while getting sympathetic praise by the mainstream media, and gives them what people are calling a political insurance against any potential regulation against one of the richest men in the world. And of course, this is a brilliant PR move, but it has to be called out for what it is, an absolute scam. And again, I can't stress the importance enough of you as an individual not supporting Amazon. Amazon and Jeff Bezos are one of the biggest threats against our human civilization. They not only work on artificial intelligence facial recognition programs for ICE and other police agencies, they're not only working on decrypting blockchain algorithms and code, but they are directly working with the Pentagon, the CIA, the military-industrial complex, are buying companies and resources en masse, and are becoming a true force to be reckoned with of course the help of government with their tax incentives and their tax breaks and all of the other loopholes that they just threw at them, which again, not only makes them one of the most powerful entities out there, but also one of the most dangerous ones. So again, stop freaking buying from Amazon. Now, in related news, it also came out today that the Chinese infiltrated 30 American companies, including Amazon, as well as Apple, even the CIA, in what a report is calling an attempt to sway U.S. elections, infiltrate private information, and even the servers used to power drones by the CIA and the U.S. Army. And allegedly, this was done by the Chinese intelligence community with spy chips that was found in hardware used by Apple and Amazon. Now, of course, Apple and Amazon are denying these claims, whether it be true or for, of course, business purposes. And honestly, it's really hard to see which side of the story is true here. But from my understanding and also covering this issue and talking about it on this YouTube channel with how China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Israel, the United States, and many other world countries spy, infiltrate, and conduct data breaches on each other, it wouldn't surprise me if this story is potentially true. And again, historically, whenever you have a new emerging superpower, like China, and a current number one global power, like the United States, testing it, there usually is a conflict that ends up because of that transition of power. A situation that, of course, we all have to face the reality of, that, of course, is mainly being underplayed, but I do believe is becoming more severe, especially with China's expansion, not only with their military, but also their political aspirations. Even the US Vice President Mike Pence just accused China of meddling in quote, American democracy. And with already heated trade talks, many analysts are saying that we are already in a new Cold War between the United States and China. But yeah, that's not important because we got to decide if having a guy do a vasectomy when we're about to break up with them is the most important topic that we should discuss and investigate. Or slips of paper telling you to smile. So yeah, that's happening in today's world. And if you agree with me that this is all just utter nonsense, share this video with your friends and family members. I appreciate you for sticking in all the way to the end of the broadcast and supporting real independent media, and that's why I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more.